All right, everybody. It's Monday morning. Can you believe it's Monday? One more day off, just one. That's all I asked for. However, I did miss you. I'm glad to be back here on this lovely morning. It is lovely. Every day above ground is a good day. That's the truth. All right, so it's Monday, January 14th, 2019. Already, this market has made a triple-digit move, and the stock market is open less than 1 hour as I am doing this video blog. Stocks are under pressure, not that much. We opened, with regard to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, about 210 points in the negative. We are now only down about 90. So more volatility here. That's the name of the game. Let's look at a few other things here that are important. Almost, and I mean this, almost radio silence for the entire weekend and this morning from the mainstream media with regard to China trade issues. I think that's telling here. We also got what I believe is propaganda from China. This is, you have to understand, we're going to get propaganda from both sides. You know that. This is a trade war. It's economic warfare. There's not another way to put it. That's what it is. So you can expect propaganda coming out of China, propaganda coming out of the United States to feed the people, and it's always the same story in any kind of warfare. So apparently the trade surplus from China is huge. I think it's the biggest since 2006 or so. I find that a little hard to believe that China is doing so well right now. So again, I don't buy it right now, I'll be honest. But again, we can expect more of this propaganda. We can also expect more of the look here, don't look here. Lots of talk on the wall, like I went over yesterday. It's a distraction to a large degree. Now, don't freak out, everybody, because whenever I say that, I get slammed, and I got a whole bunch of emails this morning. I am not saying for the millionth time it's not an issue that needs to be dealt with. So calm down. Stop drinking so much coffee, maybe. It's an issue that has to be dealt with, but let me put a bigger picture perspective on this for you. If the United States loses its standing on the world stage with regard to being an economic power, the issues with regard to the wall will shrink into almost insignificance. That's the truth. And we already understand that the dollar is being circumvented by more and more countries around the world. There is a direct plan, I don't know another way to put it, between China and Russia to circumvent the dollar and to, I believe, push China up to the top of the pyramid here with regard to global standing, with regard to trade. Now, I know a lot of people don't want to hear that either. They're buying into the propaganda. Understand, you're in a propaganda environment. It's that simple, and you cannot take anything at all at face value. All right. With that said, let's move forward a little bit. Let's talk about the bond market. Massive instability several weeks ago with the Dow fell 5,000 points. The president issued his buy recommendation after he sent out his Treasury Secretary to 6 of Wall Street banks. You know that whole thing. Okay. Something had to be done there because we were really on the verge of a meltdown. In fact, I think we were in a meltdown. The U.S. 10-year yield, let's put a perspective on this, was 2.55. The federal funds rate is about 2.5. It's crazy. So that intervention did prevent a full-on meltdown, but it also is not allowing the market to correct to fair value, and the distortions are only going to get worse until they don't. So the bond market, I'm not saying has normalized, but it has stabilized here. 10-year yields coming up. Still, there's no curve. The yield curve is essentially flat. So that's telling us something down the pike with regard to our economy here. All we're doing still is buying jobs, massively propping up the debt to prop up our economy, to prop up the stock market, and that's not the way to go. It's all fake. You know that. You can't buy your way to prosperity with debts and deficits exploding like they are. Sure, we can continue to do this until we hit a wall. We're going to add jobs. Our president can talk about how great he's adding all these jobs, but what he will not tell you is we're buying them by the debts and deficits exploding. It's a very simple concept. So, like I said, you can expect more propaganda like that to be thrown at you to make everything seem a little prettier or a lot prettier than it actually is. Unfortunately, more store closures around the country, not just Sears. It's retail is suffering. I understand. The U.S. economy is driven by consumer spending, and it's not all the Amazon effect, because even airlines are suffering here. Bank earnings came out today missing the mark. We can expect more of this. This is the way it is, and this is why we're going to see more volatility in this market. Now, with regard to that, we're still stuck in the channel. We are bumping up still against the top end of that channel. We were in a 3-month downtrend. It has not changed at all. Market's trying to figure out what it wants to do, what it can do. I guess it's waiting for some good news out of China, because we have been told via some mysterious phone calls in the middle of the night, 2 of them so far, that things are going well. They're not going well. I mean, it's just, it's so obvious. But again, if things were going well, believe me, tweet storm off the Richter scale, all kinds of, maybe even a national address. But that's not what's happening here. It's a near radio silence. So we'll keep our eye on that too. With that said, I will. Oh, one more thing. If you go to my website, traderschoice.net, I made a huge change. Upper right-hand corner is now the Lions Corner. Well, go have a look at it. Click on the link in the description of this video, and you can see what I'm doing over there. And I think my Lions are going to appreciate this. And it's going to be fun. I'll see all of you later.